Right, let's talk about the latest. You couldn't make it up from Parliament. The MPs on the the Parliamentary Transport Select Committee said that under 22-year-olds should get free bus travel in England. Why should they do that? Well, let's talk to Norman Baker, former Lib Dem MP. He's also the former Transport Minister under that Cameron and Clegg coalition government. A very good afternoon to you, Norman.
Hello, Julia. You're looking very bouncy, and I might say I'm glad to see you've not disappeared with your flexible working hours.
Well, indeed. Can I know, before we get to the bus travel, what do you make? What do you make? A, the flexible working hours. B, the foreign secretary not knowing he needed a fishing licence.
Well, I'm sorry. It gets cold and it gets hot. You just live with it. That's the way it is.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. And as far as David Lamb is concerned, it was just it's just embarrassingly incompetent, I suppose.
I mean, I think we've summed everything up very briefly and succinctly and very accurately. Thank you very much, Norman. But you think it's a good idea for hard-working taxpayers and other bus and other public transport users to pay for all under 22-year-olds in England to get free bus travel?
Well,
Why?
look, I mean, speaking as a pensioner, which I am these days, we get free bus passes, we get free prescriptions, we get free this and that. And actually, the younger generation at the moment is going to be the first generation probably that is less well off than its parents. That's one thing. Second thing is bus passenger numbers are down since COVID. They haven't recovered properly, and that means a lot of bus routes are being lost. Now, we want to get more people on buses.
We want to get more paying passengers on buses. More people on buses doesn't keep the bus service going. More paying passengers does.
Well, it depends, because once the evidence suggests from the Department for Transport that if you get them early, you get them using the bus early, then they will stay on the bus, and there will continue to be bus paying passengers later on.
This is, I mean, I'm sorry. On what? Really? I mean, really? If they can't afford any other mode of transport, buses now, bearing in mind, are the most used mode of public transport in the country. A long, long way more than trains. And people in government yap on about trains, which are caught by most people not even once in a year. However, I used to get the bus to and from school when I wasn't cycling. The weather was bad or it was too hot. I used to get the bus. I used buses early. I genuinely, you know, the reason I go to work every day, Norman, is so I don't have to get the bus. It's literally one of the main reasons going to work, because I hate getting on the bus. And the main problem on buses is young people under the age of 22. A bus any time around school hours. Oh my God, the mayhem, the violence, the threats, the misbehaviour, the rudeness. I'm sorry, getting young people on buses early isn't going to make them stay on buses unless they just aren't able to afford or able to manage any other mode of transport.
I think it will keep them on buses, because at the moment what they're doing more than ever is, for example, using Uber. They're using Uber because it's sometimes cheaper than the bus, and particularly when there's more than one of them.
Well, I mean, we've got £3 max fine, in fact, max cost of a bus in England. I know there are different rules in different parts of the United Kingdom, but I've never got an Uber that was less than £3.
No, but I mean, you can share an Uber, and you can't. Whereas you get on a bus, then you individually pay your fare. So if there's 2 or 3 of you going somewhere for the evening, it's going to be cheaper to get an Uber.
And it's probably a lot quicker and more pleasant as well. Good for them. Good for them.
It might be, which is why you have to get people on buses, because if we end up with buses continuing to lose passengers, which we are at the moment, then the bus service will go. And that's the reality of where we are.
But hold on, no, if you want more people to be on buses, you need to have more people going out to their jobs and not working from home. So they need to get on the buses.
I agree with that.
But then paying for their fares. But we can't continue to subsidise everyone. I'm really sorry that under 22-year-olds are struggling, a lot of them, but so are a lot of people who are 23 and 28. I would say the people who are struggling the most would be adults who are like in their 30s or late 20s trying to have kids, who are really, really struggling, putting every penny away to try and pay for the rent or the deposit for a home and pay for children. They're struggling more than a 22-year-old who's got their £4 Starbucks drink and has got their designer kit on, and the girls have got their fake eyelashes and their nails done at £30 a pop. I mean, come on, give me a break. They're not hard up.
No, I'm sorry. I think some of them are hard up, and they're relying more and more on their parents in a way that didn't happen in my generation.
Well, that's because parents didn't have anything to give them.
And they've got tuition fees, I have to mention, of course, which I took some responsibility for. And they've got a lower minimum wage. They are not getting a very good...
Minimum wage has gone up. That's rubbish. Minimum wage has gone up.
No, but they've got a lower level for people under a particular age, which affects them. So, they aren't having a great time of it. And I'm going to defend...
I'm not saying they're having a great time of it. I'm saying they can afford a bus fare.
Well,
They could give up other things and afford their bus fare.
there's a wider societal point actually, which is that you want to make sure that you protect public services,
Absolutely.
and you make sure they're there for the future, and we have to get more people on buses.
But
And
but I don't understand why you think more non-paying passengers. You're saying, oh, at some point they will be paying. They're using a bus at 17 or 18, so they're more likely to use it at 23.
Well, because if you've got pensioners at the moment, for example, get free, but as I do, get a free
and
bus.
I don't think you should. I think it should be means tested.
Well,
I think it's obscene that my parents, who are more than able to pay, frankly, for a taxi everywhere, let alone a bus, should get free bus travel. I think it's obscene.
Well, there's a lot of benefits for pensioners which aren't means tested, and that's a wider argument, Julie, as you know, including for example prescriptions. I mean, why should pensioners get free prescriptions? But they do, irrespective of their.
I think I'm the only person paying for prescriptions in my entire local chemist. They look at me, they say, "Do you pay for prescriptions?" I say, "Yes." They look at me like, "Oh, do you? Haven't had one of those before."
No, well, there's a whole issue about that. But the fact of the matter is that old people tend to vote. And governments of all colours have targeted their policies to satisfy old people.
Well, young people should go out and vote then. Sod them.
Well, they don't go out and vote.
Well, they should. They should. Or we could just lower the voting age to 16, like Labour have done. But
I would encourage them to go out to vote. Of course I would. And we did do in my time when I was encouraging people to go and do that in my own constituency. But the reality is they haven't. And governments have tailored their policies for older people and not worried too much about younger people. Now that's equity across the generation.
That's young people's fault then, isn't it? They don't vote. I've got no sympathy for anyone moaning about any government policy if they didn't vote.
Well, there's a wider point about how easy it is to vote.
Oh, goodness me, it's perfectly easy to vote. I know there's an issue in terms of ID, and pensioners can use pretty much any piece of ID, and young people can't.
This is the point, Julia. Pensioners can, and I can go with my bus pass.
Young people didn't vote when they didn't need to. Then they didn't need ID. They still didn't vote then.
They need a higher level of ID.
They didn't need ID until a couple of years ago, and they didn't vote then either.
Well, I mean,
they brought it on themselves. If you're too lazy to go out and vote, you've got to have policies that benefit you. But again, why is every policy always about something more free for people? If young people are struggling, why don't we make sure they've got better education when they're making more jobs, getting them off benefits? I mean, why don't we do that?
Well, I agree with that as well. It's not. I'm not. Look, I'm not in favour of these policies which are coming out with 8 million people on benefits. I'm not in favour of that. And a lot more needs to be done to get people educated properly about how society works. They're not educated properly in this country, in my view. They don't know how to open a bank account. Half of them can't add up properly. The education system is not delivering for young people in this country, and that's part of the problem. And I also agree that work should be incentivised in a way that's not always. And I was listening to your previous callers, and absolutely right. The guy who said that they should be there at 8:45, putting the kettle on, not starting at 9 o'clock or later. All those things are right. So I'm not suggesting that free bus passes is a be-all and end-all.
I get that.
What I'm saying is part of a societal mix. It makes sense. And of course, they are free in Scotland for young people, and there's a discount for young people in Wales. Yeah,
well, you say that again, or anything that's free. It's like in London, when it's free for free for under 16s, and it's reduced price 16 and 17-year-olds. But it's not free because taxpayers pay for it.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, in London, for example, you get free travel over 60.
Yeah.
Now, that's wrong because people are using that free travel to go to work and get a full-time job, and they're getting free travel.
In 3 years' time, I can get a free bus pass. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't be able to get it when you're still in full-time employment, and you can. So actually, you could pay for some of the young people to get free bus passes by taking away those who are.
But here's the thing: it's always about, well, we've got that money, or we could not do it, and then we could give the money back to the hard-working taxpayers who are actually going out and paying for it and paying full fare. Norman Baker, so good to talk to you. I really appreciate your time. Former Lib Dem MP, former Transport Minister, Claire Pearsall.
I'm always at the wrong point of time and age. Yeah. I get nothing for free. I don't get free prescriptions. I don't get free buses. And
by the time you're old enough, they won't be.
They're going to move the goalposts. Yeah. So however old I get, I'm never going to be old enough.
No, exactly. I mean, genuinely, it's just infuriating. As I said, I banned under 22-year-olds from the bus full stop. And I'm genuinely.
Yes.
I know people think I joke about these things. Really not joking.